So what are the traditional ways that we find the router ID of a router? We can do the show IP protocols command. This is actually relatively new. I think this was added in iOS 12.4, which is not that new, but it didn't used to have this output. So we can find show IP protocols or the router ID from show IP protocols. We can also find it from the show IP OSPF command. So that's another place to find it. Additionally, we can find it if we look at our show IP OSPF interface. Now, I'll be honest, this is probably not where I'm going to go in order to find my own router ID. Most of the time when I do this command, I'm looking at things like my network type or if I'm the designated router. Now, this is a numeric name, so it is used in configuration with virtual links and filtering, but it is also communicated in hello packets, and the neighbors can see this. And so if I want to see the router ID of my neighbor, I can do the command show IP OSPF neighbor. And the neighbor ID, that looks like an IP address, does it not? And in fact, the IP addresses are over in the 5th column, but the router ID of our neighbor is in the very 1st column. And so you can see that if you look at the detailed output as well. But most of the time, I'm going to just do show IP OSPF if I'm going to find my own router ID. But if you don't have the ability to log in to a router and you need to know its router ID, show IP OSPF neighbor is an invaluable command.